Hi, my name's Olivia King. I'm the Manager of Research Capability Building with Western Alliance. I'm recording this clip today on the lands of the Wadawurrung people, and I'd like to pay my respects to the Wadawurrung people, their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to the custodians of the lands on which you are watching this clip from today, and also extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people tuning into this clip. So this is the fifth year that we are at Western Alliance running the STaRR program, and we are looking forward to attracting another group of enthusiastic emerging researchers. So what I'm hoping is that by the end of this clip, you will have the information that you need to determine your readiness and suitability for the STaRR Emerging Researcher Training Program, understand what the training involves and what you can expect to get out of it, and the information you need to develop your own expression of interest. So let's start from the top. What is the STaRR Emerging Researcher Training Program? It's a mentored research training program that aims to support new and emerging researchers to turn a health practice-based idea or problem into a research protocol or proposal. The training comprises 3 workshops held over approximately 10 weeks with a mix of in-person and online learning that aims to provide you with the foundational knowledge and skills to get started on a research protocol or proposal. Work is required in the lead up to, in between, and beyond the workshops. And what we suggest is that there is approximately 2 to 4 hours per week of work required for the weeks between the first and third workshops. Obviously, there's a lot of variation in that, but that's sort of a good rule of thumb that we suggest for our participants. So the workshops are planned to be held toward the end of August for the first workshop and early and late October for the second and third workshops, respectively. The training is designed to facilitate experiential and collaborative learning, and it requires all learners to come into it with a translation-focused idea. And what we mean by that is an idea for a project that will lead to changes in practice or policy, or will lead to benefits for patients, communities, healthcare teams, or organisations. So, is STaRR for you? These questions, or the answers to these, will help you to decide. Are you new to research and keen to develop foundational research skills? Do you have a translation-focused idea? That is, a research idea that will translate into practice to solve a real-world health practice or policy problem. Are you willing and able to commit to the 3 workshops, plus the work in between to develop your protocol or proposal? Do you have the support of your manager or leader and the support that you need to dedicate time attending the training and working on developing your idea into a research protocol? If you think that the answers to all these questions are yes, then STaRR may well be for you. If you're unsure about any of the above, we strongly encourage you to check in with your research translation coordinator. There'll be more information and details about those in the expression of interest form. And also, if you're from an allied health background, you can also check in with your allied health research and knowledge translation lead. If you don't know of either of those individuals in your organisation, or you're not sure how to get in touch with them, do check out the expression of interest form. And if you're still unsure, you can get in touch with Peter Kelly or myself via the STaRR support email, and we'll show that in a later slide. So then what can you expect to get from the STaRR training? As I mentioned, there are 3 workshops. The first one will be in person in Colac, and the subsequent 2 will be held online. Within each of the workshops, there will be small breakout group discussions and activities. And each of those small groups will remain stable throughout the workshops. So you'll really be able to develop those relationships with your peers and also the experienced researcher who will facilitate those small groups. You'll be developing your protocol as you go. There will also be some sessions where your manager or leader will be invited to attend so that they can also develop their skills and learn about how to support you. There'll also be some work in between the workshops with your research team, and you'll receive some support and guidance from your mentor. More on mentoring in a moment. So, if you think STaRR may well be for you, what is it that you need to do to become involved? The first thing you need to do is to identify your research idea. You'll then need to work through the STaRR expression of interest form with your manager, or at least in consultation with them. We can't understate how important it is to have your manager or leader's support as you go through the STaRR program. You'll need to nominate or identify and nominate your research team members, and you'll need to complete and submit your expression of interest form via email by Wednesday, 23rd of July at 5 p.m. And you can send that email through to starsupport@deakin.edu.au. And this is also the email address that you can use to send through any inquiries that you may have. Myself or Pete Kelly will be able to assist you. So I'm now going to talk you through what we are looking for in response to each of the 4 questions that are listed on the expression of interest form. You'll need to limit each response to 200 words. So absolutely no more than 200 words per response. A little bit under is absolutely fine, but it can be tricky to be concise, but it is really, really important. So the first step, or the first section of your EOI, expression of interest, asks you to describe the problem that you would like to address through your STaRR project. Here, you'll need to briefly summarise the existing literature. We know this can be tricky for new researchers, so we strongly encourage that you seek some help from your health service librarian. If you don't have a librarian, please get in touch with your local research translation coordinator or myself and Pete via the STaRR support email, and we'll be able to help you to get in touch with some resources. You'll need to highlight what knowledge or evidence is still needed, so what the gaps are in the literature, for you to be able to inform your local practice or policy. So this really sets the scene for the need for your idea to be progressed through research. And remember, this section needs to be articulated in 200 words or less. So it doesn't need to be an extensive or exhaustive literature review. It's really just a summary of what is already known and what remains to be known. Next, we're looking for some evidence or data from your local setting that gives a sense of the scale or scope of the problem locally. This data will help to convince your manager or organisation that there is a problem that needs to be addressed. So some examples of data or evidence from the local setting include length of stay data, the frequency of documented incidents or risks, consumer feedback or any evidence of unmet need, staff absences or vacancies, and these are just some examples. Look, sometimes you might know that there is a problem, but it's quite hard to quantify. We do say, though, that the more hard evidence you can gather and provide to demonstrate the presence and scope of the problem, the better. This will only add weight to your expression of interest and will also provide a little bit of a baseline for you to measure any improvements against. So some evidence is easier to gather than others, and we completely acknowledge that. If you're really struggling here, do get in touch with your local research translation coordinator. They'll be able to help you to identify and gather some evidence to support the presence of your problem. You then need to describe what changes or benefits you anticipate by undertaking a research project on your identified health problem or issue. Now, this is really important. You need to be able to convince your manager, leader, or organisation and us that your project has the potential to lead to beneficial changes in practice or policy. So we need to know who stands to benefit: patients, carers, community, healthcare staff, teams, or organisations. and how. So an example of how is through changes to local policy or clinical guidelines, changes to practice within your teams or across the organisation, or perhaps simply an increased awareness or understanding of a problem or issue. So really need to think through what your project could achieve and how. Finally, you need to include in your expression of interest who is going to be part of your team. Pulling together a team with a mix of skills will mean that your capacity to actually complete your project will be enhanced. It can be a bit of work identifying who should be on your team and bringing them on board. And while we don't suggest that you need to have, a whole football team of researchers, we do suggest that you have at least 3 of you working on the project, and that at least one of the people on your team is a manager or a senior clinician or team leader. This will mean that you are more likely to be supported as you go through the training and develop your research protocol or proposal. It also means that you're more likely to be supported to do the research and to implement the findings into practice or policy. Remember, this training is very much translation or action focused. So when you're thinking about your team, think about the skills and networks you have within your proposed team and whether there are any gaps. How might you be able to fill these? And don't worry, we will cover this a little bit in the actual training, but it is important to start thinking about this early on. So at this point, all we ask is that you nominate at least 2 other people to be on your research team, and that you include their roles on the expression of interest form. So once you've completed your expression of interest and you have sent it through to us via that STaRR support email, we will review your expression of interest to ensure that your project is suitable for the STaRR program. If we think that there might be another more appropriate avenue for support for your project, for you and your project idea, we will let you know. For example, it might be that there is already a lot of existing research around your chosen topic, and that a synthesis of the literature might be a more suitable pathway, and we can help to direct you as far as that is concerned. It might be that your idea would lend itself more to a quality improvement project, so we might link you in with your quality and safety team. That said, if your idea is right for STaRR training, we will pair you with a mentor. You are welcome to bring your own mentor to your STaRR project. We just ask that you make that really clear on your expression of interest, that you have a mentor and that they are included on your project team and that you've included their details. If you don't have a mentor already, that is absolutely fine. We will work very hard to pair you with a suitable mentor. We will also ask that you make contact with your health service librarian. They will be able to help you to conduct a very initial cursory literature search. Don't worry, we have some resources to help to support you with this, and we don't expect that you will have conducted an extensive or exhaustive literature search prior to the STaRR program. We'll help to talk you through this. We only ask that you get in touch with your health service librarian. Now, STaRR doesn't end after the workshops. We do offer further training opportunities and resources to help to support our emerging researchers. And unless you tell us otherwise, we will keep in touch with you about further opportunities ongoing into the future. For example, we offer STaRR Emerging Researcher grants to all of our past STaRR emerging researchers. And this grant funding round is only open to people who have completed the STaRR training. We'll offer you opportunities to continue to build your research network and to stay engaged with us as a STaRR team. So just to be clear, the STaRR program does not end after the workshops. All right, so what I'm hoping that you've gleaned from watching this clip is that STaRR is for new and emerging researchers to help to develop a translation-focused research idea into a protocol. Manager support and involvement is required so that you can participate in the training and take your idea forward. Your research translation coordinator can help you with your expression of interest, and If you're not sure how to get in touch with them, please reach out to Peter and I via the STaRR support email listed on this slide, and we can help to connect you. To complete your protocol and eventually your project, you'll need to build a team of people with different skills and networks. STaRR training is founded on experiential and peer learning principles. So if you're not ready to really get involved in a research project, STaRR probably isn't the opportunity for you. You're probably looking for a lighter touch research training workshop. Mentor support and guidance will be provided to you as you develop your protocol. If you've already got a mentor, that is absolutely fine. You're welcome to bring them. Just let us know. Work is required before, between, and after the STaRR workshops at approximately 2 to 4 hours per week between the first and third workshops. If you think that this is for you, please complete and submit your STaRR expression of interest no later than Wednesday, 23rd of July at 5 p.m. Good luck pulling your EOI together. Please get in touch if you have any queries or questions. And thank you for tuning in. Oh, I should quickly mention, there are some frequently asked questions around the STaRR program. So if you've already got it, for example, if you've already got a project that you've started on, that is okay. You can still bring that project to the STaRR program. Just make sure that you come in with an open mind and that you're willing to think about approaching that project in a slightly different way. Not everyone can make it to each of the 3 workshops. We've already got the dates posted on the website. So if you know in advance that you can't make it to one or more of the workshops, that is okay. We do have a way to still support you through the STaRR program. Just you need to let us know as soon as possible that you can't make those. Now, the third question there is, what if I don't have a project idea? That is not a deal breaker, but we do expect that, that in order to prepare an EOI, you do need to have developed a project idea. And the best way to do that is to get in touch with your research translation coordinator and or your manager to help you to identify a potential project idea. If you need help with your EOI, once again, get in touch with us via STaRR support or your research translation coordinator. What if you can't complete your protocol within the 10-week program? That is okay. It is a self-paced program. We have actually never seen anybody complete their protocol within the 10 weeks. It absolutely takes beyond that 10-week time frame to complete the protocol, and that is 100% fine. It is a self-paced program. We provide the education, but you do need to do the work, and you can only do that at a pace that is that fits in with your other commitments. What if you don't have a mentor? Again, that is okay. We can pair you with one of our mentors from our STaRR Mentor Network. Okay, I think that is it. Thank you, and very best of luck pulling together your STaRR EOI.